everyone out there in television land. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're used to probably seeing me on Adopt a Friend, but today we're doing something a little special. We're going to be talking about one of our events that's coming up. It's a new event. It will become an annual event, and one of our volunteers that you may recognize was the brainchild behind designing this event and really pushing it forward and coming up with all of the sponsors and really all the activities that are going to go on that day. So I want to thank you for tuning in with us today, and I'd like to introduce you to Ken Engleman, one of our volunteers at the animal shelter. Thank you, Ken, for coming down today and sharing your story and hopefully becoming an inspiration for others to do what you do.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about how you really started at the animal shelter, kind of where you came from, and why you ended up at the shelter the way you did.
I have a wonderful pit bull named Jersey Girl who is a rescue, and Jersey Girl was my introduction to working with different kinds of dogs. And I bought her a certain kind of dog food that she didn't like. So instead of just throwing it away, I thought, you know, let me bring it down to the shelter. And I did some research and I found your shelter, brought it down, and I was so inspired by your staff and the passion they had for helping the animals. I, of course, donated the food, but I wanted to get more involved and see if I could help with fundraising and with promotions and things I do for my other clients. And that's how I got involved.
Right, it's interesting for those who may not know about our shelter here in town. We cover Brantford and North Brantford, and we do lots of different things, including animal control and protecting the public, but we do many fundraisers. We're out in the community quite a bit doing public service things at school systems and at churches and Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and all that kind of stuff. So there are a lot of people in the community who ask, what else can I do besides coming to the shelter? Because of course we have our people who are allergic to animals but still would love to help. And so Ken is an excellent example of people who are in the community that may want to come to the shelter and assist us, but maybe don't want to actually physically be at the shelter. So Ken, you do things from home, you do things on the computer, you come up with ideas for events, and maybe you can talk a little bit about other projects you've been involved in with us at the shelter, and really what inspires you, because obviously you have a life outside of the shelter. You work and you do other things, and you have your own dogs. Besides Jersey Girl, you do have another dog. So knowing that you do other things outside of the shelter, really what keeps you inspired to do all of this stuff that you do?
Well, I like helping out those that don't have a voice, and a lot of the animals, they need assistance. And as we all know, working with the shelters, you see that there's a lot of homeless pets that could use new adoptive parents. So I like to come up with new ideas that will motivate more other people to get involved and to offer donations, offer supplies, and get involved with the community and our shelter. Some other ideas I've worked with you is the t-shirts that we designed.
That you're wearing,
that I'm wearing right
now,
here, the Dan
right?
Cosgrove Animal Shelter, and it says support your local shelter underneath.
So before I let him continue, we've got to talk a little bit about his t-shirts. So for those of us who know our little family at the animal shelter, there are many different types of people who come in and who come up with different ideas, and Ken's one of his other brainchildren have been that he wanted a t-shirt with a paw print on it. Desperately, he wanted a t-shirt with a paw print on it. So he kept coming in and he kept saying, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I would always go, well, maybe, well, we could. And he came in one day when I wasn't there, and he happened to see my staff, and he showed them, and they loved it. They were enthralled by it. He came back and he said, they loved it. They want a t-shirt like this. So he designed it. He brought it to our t-shirt person who made up one for free, and he came back and he showed it to me and he said, what about this? And everybody loved the idea. So that's how he got it. So even though many times I may look at something and go, I don't know if people are going to like that, people who come in with all these different ideas are really what keeps the shelter functioning the way that it is, because obviously after a while all of us kind of get a little lame with what we think and what we see, just because you come up with too many ideas and then you start to lose, you know, that sense. And so it was great. So Ken kept at it, and he kept going for new designs with this paw print, and the one he brought in struck a chord, and everybody fell in love with it, and it's designed and it's there and it's for sale. So people can come in and make a donation to the shelter and get a t-shirt, and you can can walk around with our label on it and help support the animals at the shelter and in the community as well. So thank you for doing that, because it was awesome that Ken is a bulldog in that sense. He will keep on something until he gets it, and that's great. So he got it, and people love it. So that's awesome.
One of the reasons I came up with this is to generate another revenue stream for you. And by providing gear and having the branding on the different people within the community, it helps brand your shelter.
Right, and that goes into really what you do for a living.
Right.
You do marketing and networking, and you kind of bring two things together that may not seem like they fit, and you make them fit, and then you come up with innovative ideas all the time that really help your organization to grow and become bigger.
Right.
So that's what's neat about what you do, is that you're not somebody who's necessarily at the shelter picking up poop with us, but you are out there in the community coming up with new ideas and going out and just talking to people and bringing more people into the shelter by your innovative uniqueness, which is awesome. So we're really here today to kind of talk about Woofstock, and this is something that you designed, and I absolutely love this idea because it's so unique compared to what we've done in the past. And we've heard Woofstocks across communities before, but I think for Brantford being such a unique community in the sense that we are really, really animal friendly, and we love having bands. Our Jazz Festival series goes over awesome. It's a great thing for the community to be able to come out every Thursdays like they do, and to do that. So for this offers them another avenue to be able to go out and sit with their family and support the shelter. So talk about this. Talk about what made you think of this? How did this start?
What I wanted to do is bring a lot of people together and have a fundraiser where it's a fun event on the Brantford Green, which is so beautiful, such a great backdrop for a beautiful day and evening. So I have 5 fantastic bands that are well known in our area, and they're all donating their time to come and support the shelter. And I'm asking everybody to bring a $5 donation or something that the shelter could use, but it is a free event, all-day free event. But we ask for a suggested $5 donation. We need bleach. The shelter needs bleach, needs some rawhide rings for dogs, needs some kitten food, and some general things that the shelter generally goes through in a high quantity. So I wanted to bring people together. I have children's activities set up. We have a silent auction set up. We have many wonderful sponsors, and you can take a look at the list that'll be present in a moment. And we look forward to this great day.
So where did you get these bands from? How do you have all these contacts with the bands, and how did you convince them to come out and do an event for free? Because as we know, it's a tough economy, and people are out there, they have to make money in order to exist. So how did you convince these guys to come out and support the animal shelter in the way you did? I've
been thinking about this event like this for quite some time, and then it was also a great idea by Josh, who works at Agway, who's in a band, one of the featured bands, Downtown Sally. And he said, Ken, let's put together this music festival. And I had been thinking about it, and he presented it, and we said, oh, yeah, let's do it. And we got together, and he donated his band's time. And then I just called friends of mine who are in bands and did some research to find out who's popular around here. And everyone's so excited to help out the shelter and the love of animals. They all said, sure, we're in. Let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do want to go back and talk about Josh, but before we do that, I want to touch on one of the reasons why we do what we do for the community and for the shelter in general is animals like Gizmo, who you're looking at right now. Gizmo is a 7-year-old Shih Tzu, and he was owner released to us because his owner could no longer care for him. They were going into an assisted living facility, and Gizmo is one of the sweetest little fellows you ever want to meet. He is a neutered male, and he is fully vaccinated, and he's just waiting for his forever home. He likes other dogs. He's been great at the shelter. He's extremely friendly. He likes to sit on your lap, so if you like that, he'd be a good catch for you. But he's a great example of dogs that come into the shelter. A lot of times people will ask me, do you only get big dogs? Do you only get the larger breed dogs? And I tell them, no. Right now at the facility, we do have a Puggle. For people who don't know what that is, it's a Beagle Pug mix. And then we also have a Wired Hair Terrier mix, who's on the smaller side. We have a full-bred Pekingese, who is probably about 12 pounds. He's also about 7 years old. So we do get little guys in there, and it's always worth people's time to stop in and just visit the shelter, because even if you're not looking for an animal, you may have somebody in mind who you might find the perfect pet for that they didn't even know they were looking for. So we invite you to come to our website, which is BrantfordAnimalShelter.org, and we invite you to stop into the shelter anytime to come and visit the animals, whether it's the cats, the dogs, the critters. We get many different critters in there as well. We have ferrets right now. We get rabbits, which we have right now. We have guinea pigs. We have robo hamsters. But there's lots of different animals that end up at the shelter. So like I said, please feel free to come down and visit the shelter whenever you have a moment, because it is your facility, and it is the facility that you help to support. So, so Gizmo is a great example of a dog that you would be supporting by coming to an event like this that you're putting on. I want to get back and talk about Josh. So Josh is a great person. The Agway has been a huge supporter of our shelter, and Josh apparently loves helping out facilities like this by doing things like this. I had a long conversation with him, and he just was so excited about doing things like this. He totally believes in animal rescue and supporting this. And while we were talking, he was talking about the digital photo frame that we have there. And he was saying what a great idea that is as well. And that was another brainchild that kind of you and I came up with together. We both had different pieces of it, and you kind of took the ball with that and went off running with that as well. So maybe you can explain to people, maybe who haven't gone to Agway to see it, what it is, and kind of how you've been helping to put it together, because we keep kind of expanding with it.
The digital photo frame is set up just exactly what I said, a digital photo frame. And I have a photo with a little biography of each pet that needs an adoptive home. So the digital photo frame rotates the images every few seconds, and we set it up on different counters at checkout areas, one in Agway, one in Guilford, and I'm looking for other donated digital photo frames that we could upload other images to and continually have these pets in front of prospective parents.
So this is a good point. So for people who may be out there watching, and you may have an item in your home that you're not sure if you're ever going to use again, or if somebody else could utilize, a digital photo frame is a great opportunity to help us, because it's a way that we can market these animals with not a lot of labor, and having them out there where people who may be afraid to come into the shelter and see these animals because they may think that they're going to feel bad, can see what we have just by being in a store somewhere. We'd like to have them everywhere, at banks, at all sorts of checkout places, but we need people who are out there that want to donate them to us, because obviously we can't purchase every single one. I know the first one I purchased and gave to you, and I think the second one came from your family.
Yes.
I have somebody else who's going to give us a third one. So by people chipping in and helping us with this, we'd be thrilled. And we don't even mind putting a little plaque on the bottom saying if it's from your family, or if you want it in memory of somebody. We're just thrilled that you would even think of donating something like that to us. A couple of other items that we are going to be in need of is two sheds. So if somebody is out there watching and they have materials that they can build a shed, or they have a contact to somebody, we are looking to actually build an evaluation room to help us evaluate dogs' behaviors at the shelter, and we want to make that one almost like a little house. And the second one we would like to build is one for our pet food pantry. We'd like to be able to help more people in the community, and by having an actual shed on site that would be off the ground and away from the elements, we'd be able to house food and help more people. So for people who are out there watching that think that we can only accept dog and cat food, we are looking for other items as well. And another unique thing that I know that we're always going through is basketballs and soccer balls and footballs, because our dogs love them and they love them to pieces. And so we are going through them quite a bit as well. So as your kids get older and they don't want them anymore, just feel free to come on down to the shelter and bring them to us. Our dogs don't care if they have holes in them even. They're just thrilled to have them and throw them around, and they play with other dogs with them. So, so there's a lot of unique things that people at home could bring to the shelter that we can actually really utilize. So what time does your event start and finish?
Woofstock is on Saturday, August 24th, and it starts at 12 noon and it goes to 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, and what happens if it rains?
We're going to play on. It's going to be a great day. Rain or shine, come on down for a great day. We have food and drinks in walking distance.
Okay.
We have the different vendors set up. We have different sponsors,
Right.
as well as the silent auction and the raffle.
Right.
And it'll be very engaging for everybody that comes down.
And so there is going to be a sponsor list up on the screen so people could see who has supported this event?
Correct.
Okay, awesome.
Brantford's fantastic that way. Whether it's our event for Woofstock, whether it's our other event for the Animal Awareness Day Pet Party, a lot of businesses in Brantford really step up and support us, and we can't thank you all enough for that.
Yep, I mean the businesses in Brantford are absolutely amazing. We're so fortunate that they really do come out and they love animals and they assist us with everything that we could possibly imagine.
I've discovered that we're such a pet community. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we are. It's awesome because as you go from community to community, you really see the difference with how people talk. And I always say to people when they ask us, why is our community so different with the animals? And I say it's really because of the people in the community. It's the culture they wanted. And it's the culture they've created and embraced. And without the people in the community really saying, this is the type of place we want to be and this is the type of shelter we want, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
And it's people like you who live in our community. And I know we imported you from New Jersey to bring you here so that we could have you go around our community and network with everybody. But it really is people like you who are just living in the community that just stop up. And something that Ken hasn't said, which I will say, is when he came into the shelter, the two funny things that he said when he came in was, I didn't even know we had a shelter. You don't do a very good job marketing it. And I started to laugh. I said, if you're not doing anything, why don't you help us then? And the other thing was he was talking about his dog, Jersey Girl, and he said that she was a photo girl, that she was a calendar girl, that she has been in magazines, and he was very proud of her, and he started pulling out his phone and showing me all these photos of his pit bull, which I thought was really sweet and funny all at the same time. And I told him that we do a calendar, and he said, I never knew about this. And I said, well, why don't you submit some photos? And so he was thrilled, and I think that was it for him. I think after that point he kind of latched on and he said, okay, I guess I'm in. And we've kind of lured him into all these different events that we do. And so speaking of, another event that we put on is Animal Awareness Day Festival, which is basically a party for animals. It's an adoption event. We do our dog walk. We do the blessing of the animals. We have a rescue parade that day, which basically rescues that come, bring their animals, and they go up on stage and they highlight the different points of them, from this one likes to walk on the beach and go swimming, to this one just wants to sit on your feet and hang out and take a nap. So we have many different things that go on that day, and I know you've participated in that for a few years now. And I think they're going to actually put some photos up on the screen that they'll be able to show you some highlights from the day. But why don't you tell people a little bit more about the event? Because being in the event myself, I sometimes get lost in the mix because I'm not focusing on different things. I'm just, focusing on making sure the event goes.
It's another exciting day for all of us. It's October 6th on a Sunday, and we have, I believe it's 12 noon to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We have Blessing of the Animals. We have a dog walk, and it's led by the Rock Cats mascot, which is a lot of fun, having all the dogs walk behind a big cat. And we have Chaz and AJ coming down here this year from PLR.
That's a good point.
They'll be down here for 2 hours hanging out with us. So it's a very engaging atmosphere. Last year we had about 50 vendors, so you could do a little shopping, support all the local businesses and vendors. We have our sponsors and other children's activities. So it's another exciting and engaging opportunity to interact with our community and our shelter.
Right, and we've also, since we've been doing this event, we've been dubbed by the newspapers as having the largest animal awareness shoreline event, which is awesome. It's great for our community. We bring different people into the community who may not come in for other reasons. They get to visit our shops and hang out and have some food, and maybe they leave with a dog, or a cat or a rabbit, which is always one of the goals of the day as well, is we want people to really see the animals that are out there in the shelters and in the rescues, and having them understand that you can get a purebred dog just by looking. Sometimes it takes a little while if you're looking for a certain age or a certain type of a dog, but that's another good point as well. If you need assistance looking for a certain kind of dog, we're at the shelter there to help you with that. We certainly want to help you be able to rescue whatever type of a dog or even a cat that you're looking for. But the whole day is centered around animals in need, and we have so many great rescues that come out to participate. We have breed-specific rescues, like the Dachshund rescue comes that day. We do have a Shih Tzu rescue, Labs rescue comes, the Greyhound rescue comes. So if there's something in specific that you're looking for, we can definitely be of assistance in that sense. We do a lot of resource guidance at the shelter, and sometimes people don't realize what they are calling about until they get us on the phone and go, oh, I didn't realize I could call you guys for something like that. So always feel free to utilize us in that sense as well. So our couple of events that are coming up is Woofstock, which we're very excited about. This will be our first annual Woofstock, and people are welcome to come of all ages. You're also, are you going to be having an acoustic area as well?
Not this year.
Okay, so you're not going to do that this year.
Correct.
But you were thinking about doing something like that, and I think that would be awesome because you're talking about expanding the event possibly in the next couple of years. So for people who may be out there watching this program, if they are in a band or if they just play acoustically, can they contact you and say, hey, I heard you were doing this. For next year, will you keep my name and number? And you know,
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. This is an open and ongoing event, and we want to make it bigger and better each and every year. And please reach out to me, and my information is all over the posters, all over our website and a Facebook page set up for Woofstock in Brantford, and I'll be more than happy to help you set up for next year.
So can you tell them your email so that they can contact you?
My email is my first and last name together, so it's kenengleman@gmail.com. It's spelled KENENGELMAN@gmail.com, and my phone number is 203-208-0547.
And now you do have a Facebook set up for this.
Yes, I do.
What's the link under? So for people like me who do not do Facebook, I don't understand all of it, but you can like pages and stuff. So explain them, how do they like pages and what do they call you?
As far as I know, it's facebook.com/Woofstock Brantford. And a friend of mine did, actually Josh did it. So from my knowledge, that's how it's set up. But if you just type in the top little search bar, Brantford Woofstock, I'm sure it's going to come right up, as it does in most Google searches as well.
Okay, and I know they did have a flyer on our Facebook page for the Brantford Animal Shelter. Thank God for Eve, because Eve does our Facebook page. So we appreciate her doing that. And certainly if you are looking for information as far as Animal Awareness Day, we're always accepting vendors. Our dog walk is a big part of that day. So we look for businesses who want to do dog packs, as well as individuals who just want to walk that day with their dog. Obviously, with Animal Awareness Day, all dogs are welcome. They just have to be on leash, and make sure you have a poopy bag with you, and just make sure they're well socialized dogs so that they get along with anybody they run into as well as with people. But our dog walk is one of our highlights of the event. We'd like to get up to a couple hundred people. So for anybody who's out there watching, if you have friends or family that enjoy just taking their dogs on walks, please ask them to contact us at the animal shelter. You can go onto our website, which is www.brantfordanimalshelter.org, or you could just call us at the shelter, which is 203-315-4125, and we're happy to give you any information about the dog walk. There is a donation to the shelter. You do get a goodie bag and a t-shirt, and there's items in there for your dog. And our sponsors really support us on that as well. So we're so fortunate to have such great sponsors in our community. But we love our dog walk. It's so much fun, as Ken was saying, with the big mascot cat walking in the front, and a lot of times he's carrying a little dog, which is even cooler. But the blessing of the animals is something that is very unique too, because there are so many animals that come out for our blessing on the green that day. It's October 6th. Like Ken said, it starts at 12 o'clock and it ends at 5 o'clock. And what happens with the blessing is there's many different denominations that are out there that people come up to get their animals blessed. And we've had the normal dogs and cats come. We've had horses. We've had pigs, we've had goats. So there's been lots of different animals that come out for that. So don't feel funny about bringing your pet out for that day as well. And once again, if you have any questions, you can contact us for that event, or you can contact the Compassion Club at 203-483-MEOW, and they'd be happy to help you as well with any questions you have. If somebody is watching that is somebody that would like to sell an animal-related item or something else, you can certainly contact us about that as well, because we always have new vendors coming in and participating, and any rescues are welcome too. So we're always looking how to expand the event and how to get more people who want to be involved and become interested in it. And that's another good point for your event. So are you accepting people who want to volunteer, or are you still accepting sponsors on it? Or maybe you can expand on that a little bit, because we really haven't touched on that.
We're still looking for sponsors and volunteers both. Just reach out to me and I'll be glad to share with you what we're looking for, the different events that we're going to need volunteers to make sure everything runs smoothly and engage with the audience, as well as sponsors. We have different sponsorships available. Just reach out to me and I'll share with you what we have.
What can a volunteer expect to do that day if they're going to come?
A volunteer, it depends on what their specialty might be, as well as the moon bounce, standing in front of the moon bounce, making sure everything works smoothly over there, or if we have the dunk tank, which I'm hoping for, to make sure that works smoothly. So other volunteers will be walking around and engaging with the people that come and visit. Not everybody's going to come with another person. So I want to make sure everybody feels warm and welcome and feels special for being a part of this fantastic event.
And you picked up a really interesting volunteer out of this event that you've put on, as well as I think you should touch on the television show that you're going to be going on to for this event. But talk about the volunteer that you got, which is awesome, which is one of the things that inspires me every day, because sometimes in the animal industry, you can get down in the dumps. You may feel a little bad about something that happened. But with people like this, I mean, how could you stop working towards helping? and so tell people about these people that you met.
Inspiration comes from so many different places. Sometimes you just don't know. After you had put me in the paper as Person of the Week, I received an email from a very nice person and her 10-year-old daughter named Isabella. And Isabella started a business called Pals of Paws and Claws. And her website is palsofpawsandclaws.com. And she's very passionate about assisting with the animals and with the shelter. So she wanted to help with Woofstock, so they're one of our sponsors. And she's setting up a Dalmatian. And she's going to offer spots for shots, where you can purchase.
But she built this Dalmatian.
Yeah, she's in the process of building the Dalmatian, which is white.
She's actually taking a Dalmatian that she's building,
yes,
and she's putting it together, and she's going to have people donate $2.
I believe it's $2 for a spot, and to place it on a Dalmatian. And that $2 is going to go towards the actual shots that the shelter pets need. And this all came from Isabella.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And not to toot your own horn, but I'll toot your horn for you. You were the one who built the website for her.
No. I recommended buying the URL.
Oh, okay, I get it.
And boy, did they take it and run with it.
So I remember, because you called and you said, this little girl is just going wild, and it's amazing to see. And so you guys talked about all of that, and then she went and actually did it. Which was awesome.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing when little kids all of a sudden they just roll forward, and it's like, wow, I can't believe you did that. And she's an inspiration to everybody.
Complete inspiration. And we're also going to use another of her ideas for the program, which acts as a fan, a program, and also lists all the sponsors that will be in everybody's hands, all the attendees' hands.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So we're going to finish up here in a minute, but I want to just have you quickly talk about, what show did you get invited on?
Connecticut Style on WTNH, and I'll be interviewed next week for that.
Right, and how'd you do that?
I called and asked. What I did was I sent an email over them with our poster, which our friend Deb Frano created for us, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I received a phone call the next day saying we'd like to interview and talk to you about Woofstock, and it's been snowballing since. We're listed in Connecticut Magazine, we're listed in Shore Publishing, and we have press coming from all different angles throughout the state, which I'm very happy about.
Well, I do want to give credit, you're right, to Deb for doing this flyer up and the posters and everything else.
The posters, K&G Printing
graphics,
here.
Yeah, they're amazing. They do a lot of stuff for us. And I want to thank you for all of the hard work that you've put into this, and all of the people who are out there watching. Ken's a good example of, sometimes if you just ask, it happens. You just go, can we? And they go, sure, come on. So it's awesome that he's kind of taken this ball and rolled with it, and he makes so many different things happen. Sometimes he scares all of us a little bit, but we love him for that, and we appreciate all the hard work that he does. And for anybody out there in the community who would like to come to the shelter and assist us in any which way, we would so appreciate it and invite you down. So thank you so much for watching us today. Thank you, Ken, for coming out and doing the show with us. And please come to Woofstock. It's on Saturday, August 24th. You can come from 12 to 8. You can come for a period of time, whatever you can do. We'd just be happy to have you down there. And thanks, and have a great day.
Do something for yourself. Do something for yourself before you're gone. Do something for yourself. Do something for yourself before you're gone.